Dallas dead.
Rest in peace.
Jake's back, but Dallas sounds like an asshole now. Like, what's going on with this? What's going on with this podcast? We got guys that are fucking leaving early. Guys that are showing up late. Jake's dead in the hospital. Dallas sounds like he's dying. What is going on with us? We need to figure it out. We need to get our heads together right now. This second half is about to start, and we got Dallas sounding like he's being choked out.
We are limping into the second half. Yeah. That is fair to say. We are limping into the second half. But you know what? That doesn't mean that we can't be any better than we are right now. That's actually what that means, is as we limp into this second half, further down the road, we will inherently be much better than we were than when we started. So that's something I look forward to.
I guess
that's your silver lining.
Well, we're like full strength for the first time in probably a month. So thanks to the listeners for hanging in with us, because I feel like we've just been a car with three wheels for a while now. It's either like
a little bumpy.
I had to fucking leave early because I got to catch a plane, or Jake's dead. How are you feeling, Jake?
Feeling a lot better. Just ready to talk some ball.
Yeah, he's ready to talk some ball. Dude fucking loves ball. Honestly, that's what the doctor said. They said if it wasn't for ball, Jake wasn't going to pull through. They just kept saying, like, you got to hang in for the second half. Sox have hauled off 5 straight. You got to remember that. There's Jay, hey, do you remember what the Fangraphs odds were for the Red Sox playoff chances? Because whatever it was, that's what they were telling Jake in the hospital.
29.9% were Jake's chances.
29.9. Yeah. They were just like 29.9, Jake. You got to hang in for that 29.9.
That may have been what sent Jake to the hospital, was him, him reviewing all of these numbers. You know, it was funny. Jake said, dude, the scariest part was the x-ray, because the x-ray came back and it just had a picture of a dog and then a picture of a baseball. He's like, he got that dog and he got that ball in him.
He got that ball.
Kid got the dog and ball in him.
Yeah, he did. He did. And he pulled through, which, by the way, like I gotta look that up. Fangraphs playoff odds, because I mean, the Louisiana Balloons theory just holds true. It holds true. The Red Sox are a game back of the Yankees, and the Yankees have a 55.6% chance to make the playoffs, and the Red Sox have a 29.9% chance. They're a game back of them. It's just because they're the Yankees. That's really it. And speaking of the Yankees, that's where I want to start, because Buster Olney, he said some things. I want to make sure, because every time I fucking travel, I have to set up this goddamn.
Here we go. Technology.
Bro, it's not technology. All right, I got it. Buster Olney was talking about Shohei Ohtani potential destinations at the trade deadline, not free agency. This is the trade deadline. Here's Buster Olney on the 4-Letter Network.
If Ohtani is traded before the deadline, what teams would be most likely to go after him?
Well, you start with the Yankees, the Rangers, the Rays, maybe a small handful of teams, but there's no doubt. You talked with sources yesterday. They see the Yankees as potentially being the most motivated because Garrett Cole, Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton, they're middle-aged players right in the prime of their careers. This is the Yankees' window to win now. You bring in Ohtani. Suddenly the Yankees rotation with him involved looks so strong. Ohtani hitting in Yankee Stadium, which favors left-handed sluggers. That's something I'm sure the Yankees would be willing to pay for if Ohtani is made available by the Angels.
No.
You kind of sold me, to be honest. I can see it happening now. Like, that would be a big pickup for the Yanks. Half the season of Ohtani.
Was it the third or the fourth Yankees that sold you?
I think the background music, I was loving it. And then it was like, Yankee, hey, I saw him in pinstripes, no beard. You don't have to worry about that. Him and Sean Casey in the lab. I mean, why not? Who's a better chance to trade for him? I don't know.
Nobody. Because if you think about it this way, what it would, if you're from both sides, right? Think about it from both sides. If you're the Angels, you have to get a haul to trade Shohei Ohtani. And if you are the trading team, to give up that haul, you probably want like a negotiation window to get an extent. You're not going to give up your whole, like, fucking 6/10 of your farm system, your top 10 picks or your top 10 prospects, to get 3 months of Shohei Ohtani and knowing that you're only guaranteed 3 months. And then if you're Shohei Ohtani, why would you forego free agency at this point to sign with a team that you don't even know if you like it there? So it just, the puzzle pieces don't fit. I know Yankee fans are just going nuts about the Buster only fucking thing this morning, but it's like none of it makes sense. None of it.
Well, if you're Shohei Ohtani, all right, a player who doesn't have any say over how this is going to go for him, aren't you excited about the prospects of jumping into a new team and hearing their best 3-month sales pitch as to why they're going to pave the fucking road from your house to the stadium in gold, and then turn around and go, you know what? That was great. That sounded good. But we've also got free agency looming as well. So I appreciate this 3-month ride. That was fun. But now I'm going to take a look and see what everybody has to offer me. So the idea of him landing in one spot or the next doesn't just guarantee him signing with that club, right? This is the conversation we have about this all the time. And what did we find out, like with Aaron Judge? And he'd already been with the Yankees. He flies out to San Francisco, does a little stunt. Here's a cute video. But ultimately, I'm always going to be a New York Yankee. It was never not going to be this way. The Yankees feel like they have the ability to do that with players, which is why I could see their interest in being with Ohtani. But I just don't. What?
I think there's one thing that we're all forgetting in all of this is that Shohei Ohtani was not drafted out of Tokyo State University, and he is a guy that already toured with teams. Like, he's already done that process. He has a feel for what organizations are willing to offer him. I'm not going to say that he already had his mind made up. I don't think that that's the case, but he probably has a pretty good idea of, like, I remember I met with this team. I remember, like, this team said that they have this philosophy and they have these amenities and this and that. Like, he's already done the tour. Like, this is not going to be a new experience, really.
But you're rewriting the history books if you're Shohei Ohtani. You are quite literally going to rewrite free agency here this offseason. So you are rewriting everything that was given to these folks early, meaning how's he going to pitch and hit at the same time? What does that structure look like? Blah, blah, blah. And for that reason, we are out, right? That might have been the messaging coming from some teams who fancy themselves suitors for Ohtani, who Ohtani eventually said, you know, I'm not feeling the back and forth that I felt from the Angels when it came to talking about me being able to do both. So for those reasons, that's why I'm out on you. Well, now maybe that whole conversation has changed. Now maybe there's teams who were sort of on the cusp, on the fringe of letting him do both. And now they're going, you know what? We've seen what we needed to see, and we know how we need to approach this moving forward to keep him a part of this. We're in. And now there's maybe more teams who are willing to entertain that than before.
Yeah. Shohei, you had a thought.
Yeah, the other wrinkle here, and I think why it becomes even more challenging in some ways to trade Ohtani if you're the Angels front office, is that you're most likely looking at an outstanding package for a rental player. You're not necessarily looking at a package that is going to single-handedly change the nature of your farm system or redirect your franchise, right? Because of the point that you made that he is not under contract beyond this season. And I think it is highly unlikely that he's going to negotiate an extension with the acquiring team unless they are paying 99.9% of market value or perceived market value or whatever, or maybe even higher. I don't know, because maybe Ohtani doesn't know what offers he's going to get. But like, if you're the Angels GM, like, the fan base is expecting a return for Ohtani that would blow previous prospect packages out of the water, but like, the acquiring team is not acquiring multiple seasons of Ohtani. They are acquiring 2.5 months or 3 months or whatever it might be, with the unknown value of being able to get that person inside of your building and hopefully make them enjoy the experience enough so that you have, I don't know, what, a 2% edge in recruiting him a couple of weeks later. Like, I don't see Ohtani giving a massive. So that's the give and take. And I think that makes it more challenging for the Angels to trade him, not less challenging.
Especially since the Angels have, at least what it seemed pretty okay with just keeping him, staying how it is. So that's even less leverage for those teams, like being like, you got to trade them or you got nothing. Like, seems like they don't give a fuck. Like, they're going to ask for a lot if they're going to do it.
Well, this all goes back to the analogy that I gave you the other day, right? With the gazelles in the swamp and the hippos on one end and the lions on the other. Who wants to eat? Who's going to go and get that fucking gazelle? Straight up. And if the Angels are saying, we're not going to let him go, we're not going to send him out there, then the Lions just have to wait a little longer. Because now they're not going to be pulling him from the Angels camp. They're going to be pulling him from the free agent safari, from that world. Okay, so we don't have to take your shit. Fine. We'll just wait you out. Because at the end of this, you will still have nothing, and we will still be going after Ohtani. So it's ultimately you who decides whether you're going to get a drop of blood or if you're going to be starved the fuck out. It's your choice. You make the decision. It's that simple. It is that simple. We try to go in circles with this stuff, and we try to, and I get it. It's part of the cycle. It's part of the effort, but it all boils down to that right there. If the Angels aren't going to move him, then the Lions just have to wait longer. Because at the end of that whole back and forth, Ohtani's gone. The Angels have nothing. The Lions are still on the prowl. You can chalk it up 15 fucking different ways. I don't care. That's how it boils down right there.
I'm trying to pinpoint it in my mind, but Dallas's voice right now, once you hear it,
I'm not gonna fuck you, bro. I'm married.
Once you hear it, you can't unhear it. He kind of sounds like Diamond Dallas Page. I know that none of you guys know what his voice sounds like, but if there's plenty of wrestling fans listening, there you go. Yeah, he kind of sounds like Diamond Dallas Page a little bit. Anyways, the trade deadline is approaching. What did you had a clip, Dallas, this morning that you highlighted from MLB Network Radio?
Yeah.
You want me to play that? I didn't hear it.
Yeah, play it.
What is it about? It's about like how the market's going to be slow.
Yeah, so what it's about is they're talking to Kim Ng, the GM for the Miami Marlins, and they're just talking about like the slow-moving market or the slow-developing market or what could be a non-moving, non-developing market.
All right,
and,
let me play it. All right, it's from
here's what she had to say.
MLB Network Radio.
Yeah, I think there are going to be, obviously we probably have about a handful of sellers at this point. I think they're all just taking down names and figuring out, what the best deal for them is going to be. But I don't know that, for all we know, you might see a market that just doesn't, like I said, doesn't unfold very quickly or much at all. We're thinking that the next couple of weeks, maybe someone pulls away in one of the central divisions, but you never know. I mean, they could all stay the same and everyone just decides to ride it out. So it's really, I've not seen a market like this before. I think that a lot of it has to do with the playoff format, as well as those central divisions. No one's really stepped up big time in either of them.
So
and hold on. And my tweet, what I said was, it's the last couple lines coming from the architect of an MLB team that scream the answers we all continue to try and weave around as we justify what we see unfolding. Number one, the playoff format. She said it herself. The playoff format, she believes, has something to do with this, which is more teams, less desire to be competitive. And number two, very much related to number one, look at the Centrals. Looking at the Centrals would provide you with those teams that we're talking about that aren't competitive and aren't in a position to spend, but are still in a position to enter the postseason playoff tournament should they just keep shit as is, right? So I said, good business is to keep costs low and production high and do what you can to grow that gap. And if I'm a 500 team and the division is my only hope, why would I increase spending or, trading draft picks for no guarantee on my return on investment when I can remain just as competitive without spending or trading and still end up in the same playoff format as a $200+ million payroll? She said it for you to hear as loudly and as clearly as you could ever want to hear. Why does she think the market is not going to pick up or is going to be slow? Because it's clear and obvious that the teams that could be sellers are also in a position to barely sneak into the playoff tournament and make playoff type money, having spent 0 prospects and $0.
Well, we pretty much know. She said a handful of teams are going to be sellers. I think we can all like venture to guess which ones those are. But are the St. Louis Cardinals the only team really where it's like worth checking in, being like, oh, here, like if I'm not even saying from an executive perspective, if you're an executive, you're going to be rating the cabinets of any team that you see fit, and it doesn't have to be like you might be like a lefty reliever away from feeling comfortable about going into the postseason. Like I'm talking from a fan perspective, they want to see names get moved, they want to see impact players on the move. A guy like Nolan Arenado with the St. Louis Cardinals, like we've been told, hey, we're in this. We're gonna be sellers at the trade deadline, and they've got some names that could be on the move. Is all the focus going to be on the Cardinals?
Well, didn't they just talk about how their next moves are going to be more impactful for the 2024 season?
Yeah.
So that would tell you that means competing this year is not on the forefront of their mind. But let's take a look at this. She said 5 teams, right? She just threw that out there, a handful.
Mm-hmm.
So do you want to start with teams that have a negative run differential? Because that would give you the Mets, the Pirates, the Cardinals.
Probably half the fucking league has a negative run differential.
Well, no, that's the thing, is for her, and in her perspective, in her world, and the National League specifically, right now, outside of the Marlins team, who have a negative run differential, you've got the Brewers, who are a half game out of the wild card with a negative run differential. And then not until you get to the Mets, the Pirates, the Cardinals, the Nats, and the Rockies. All of those teams also have negative run differentials.
Like I said, half the league, 13 teams have a negative run differential.
And then you go into the American League side. It's 4 teams.
It's 13 teams.
Of Cleveland.
13 teams have a negative run differential. So half the league. It's
well, when she say league, I went National League because she's in the National League.
Yeah, but just because you're a National League team doesn't mean that you're only going to trade with National League teams. What are you talking about?
No, I understand that, but she's talking about like divisions as well, right? She said the Centrals. So I was looking at the NL Central.
Yeah,
and then you go to the AL Central.
To your point, like if you're in a Central division and you don't have, like, looking at the playoff odds here, right? The percentage odds to win the AL Central. The White Sox 1.9%, the Tigers 2%, the Royals 0%. That feels mean. But the Guardians still have a 40.1% chance and a 56.1% chance for the Twins. So the White Sox, Tigers, Royals, you guys are sellers. Then you go to the NL Central. To win the division, the Cardinals 5.4%, the Cubs 8.4%, the Pirates 1.1%. You guys are sellers. And they're giving the Reds, which is odd, 30.1% chance to win that division. 55% for the Brewers. So they really believe in the Brewers. But either way, the Cardinals, Cubs, Pirates, you are sellers. So there are other teams in other divisions that have a path to the postseason via the wild card. But in both Central divisions, if you're not winning that division title, you're out. So that no right chance. There, you've got those, 5 teams, 6 teams? 6 teams.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, so like the Central, like, are you drawing the line? Like, if you're the Cubs, you're drawing the line at the Cubs, or you're drawing the line at the Pirates. Pirates 8.5. Do I feel like we got a shot to charge? I don't know that that's there.
No, Dallas, don't.
So like
don't jump Padres, ship, brother.
The Padres 8.5 out of that division.
Yeah.
Where are you at?
Out.
Are they hanging tough?
No. 4.7% chance to win that division.
So are they on the list of sellers?
Well, they have a 32.4% chance to make the playoffs.
Even as a team that is 8.5 out of the division, because why? You go and look at the what?
The wild card.
Oh,
there. Yeah, but we're not talking wild card with any Central team.
No, God, no.
Yeah.
No. Well, I mean, the only one that's close in that conversation, you're talking about for the For the Central Division wildcard contenders?
Yeah, there aren't any.
No, you got, because it's Milwaukee and Chicago
Cincinnati.
that are what, or well, no, I'm behind Cincinnati because Milwaukee's what, a game or two behind Cincinnati, and then Chicago's what, 8.5 or something like that, right?
Yeah, you get the Cincinnati Reds are in first place by a game over the Milwaukee Brewers.
Yeah, well, Milwaukee's only a half game out of the wild card. In the East,
Well, that's
it's possible for a Central team to make a wild card. I don't think it's likely because they're competing with the Mets and Padres, who I think probably are going to end up doing, at least one of them is going to, play like they're supposed to. The AL is the team where if you're not winning the division, AL Central, you are fucked. And that's why I think the White Sox are probably going to be like the team to watch in terms of trades because they have good players and no chance.
It's gonna be like the 2006 Cardinals, where you're gonna get a fucking 83 win team in the playoffs
and then win the World Series.
That's up to the Twins or the Guards to decide.
That would be great.
That would be great. I feel like they would probably have some great odds on that. Baseball fans, you could be winning every inning with the hottest offers in the game. DraftKings Sportsbook has you covered from the top of the first to the bottom of the ninth all season long. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 to score $150 in bonus bets instantly. Plus, all customers can take a shot at bigger payouts with DraftKings stepped-up same-game parlays. Open the DraftKings Sportsbook app, opt in, and place your parlay by combining 3 or more bets from the same game. Every additional leg gets you an extra boost up to 100%. Step up to the plate right now with the DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the app and sign up with the promo code Jared, Jared. New customers can bet just $5 to score $150 in bonus bets instantly only on the DraftKings Sportsbook with the promo code Jared. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In Massachusetts, call 800-327-5050 or visit gamblinghelplinema.org. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. In Kansas, call 1-800-522-4700. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, 21 plus in most eligible states, but age varies by jurisdiction. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details and state-specific responsible gambling resources. Bonus bets expire 7 days after insurance. Opt-in and 10-plus leg requirement for 100% boost. Eligibility, wagering, and deposit restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/baseball terms. Yeah, I think I didn't love that interview. Like, I feel like we get excited for the trade deadline every single year. So if we're being told, hey, I've never seen a trade deadline like this before, or a market like this before, all they're saying is, yeah, like shit's not moving. We saw the Aroldis Chapman trade, and outside of that, I don't know what big names will be on the move. And if Dallas, what you're saying is true, the Cardinals hope to contend next year. Would it make sense to move a Nolan Arenado or a Paul Goldschmidt? Probably not. So where are the big names coming from? Where if you're going for a big fish to put yourself over the top, separate yourself from the pack, or bolster one of your biggest weaknesses, how are teams going to do that?
Well, that's why the conversation was what it was with Miss Ng. Slow market, stalled market, maybe never developing market.
Also, we have like 3 weeks for some of these teams to shit the bed completely. Like, don't rule out the fact that teams could completely shit the bed in 3 weeks.
Yeah, no, that trust me, a good 2-week run or a 2-week time period. And I've always thought this. That's why like I think if you look at some statistical websites, they give you the ability to, sparse through a week or 2 weeks or a month, because I think as baseball fans, we all know just how different things can be over the course of 2 weeks or a month and how quickly shit can change.
I think the point about the Cardinals, though, wanting to be relevant and good in 2024, even if they sell a little bit this year, like I know that was just about the Cardinals. I think that's the other thing, is that you can apply that logic to many of the teams that would be sellers, or even teams that we are already identifying as sellers. Like, I don't think about we'll just put the Athletics to the side for a second, because jokes aside, they are a very unique circumstance. The White Sox, as far as we know, don't intend to be bad again next season. Like, they have not executed a full rebuild. The Tigers, you would think, are starting to be under some pressure to be good eventually. Their prospects are coming to, or are already in the major leagues. I don't think even if the Tigers sell some Michael Lorenzen type pieces or whoever, that they intend to be bad next year again anyway. Even if they do end up bad, I don't think that's the intention. And the Angels, the Mariners, I just, and you could say this certainly the same about the Mets and the Padres if they end up selling in the NL. Like, I just think that's another thing that's going to potentially slow the market as it relates to Jared's question of where are the stars, or where are the high impact pieces that fans are going to really gravitate towards and relate to. I think that's another thing. Like, it applies to the Cardinals specifically, to like the Goldie Arenado types, but I think it applies to all of those other teams as well, beyond like bit players.
Well, I guess it's more wait and see in terms of the teams falling out of it and the market developing that way. But it is Joe, what do you think the fucking Braves are going to do? Like, what weaknesses do they have? Like, do they even have to do anything at the deadline?
They probably won't do anything. I mean, maybe like a backup infielder, or like a bullpen piece. Like, that's probably what they need right now.
They need a new fucking water boy.
They only got, the Braves only have one left-hander in their bullpen. Am I correct, Joe?
I don't know that for sure.
I believe it's only one left-hander. I think it's fucking Minter. AJ Minter,
who just got hurt.
One lefty they have. So I could see the Atlanta Braves, because it's something that teams do. You almost try to lump your lefties together in an effort to draw out that left-hander from the bullpen in a leverage situation, knowing that you've got some guys on the bench that you can now match up with, right? And I mean, just thinking about the lineup, how many do you guys even have fucking three left-handers that you can stack on top of each other?
Pitching?
Maybe? You got four? No, hitting wise.
Oh, hitting.
But, I mean, you're never going to stack them all together. Like Michael Harris is not hitting in front of or behind Matt Olson.
No.
Who's the other fucking lefty?
Eddie Rosario.
I mean, no, I was probably still not even lumping them together. And then fucking Ozzy switch hits. But so the point is, if you're the Braves and you know that you're going to be potentially seeing some guys with left-handed thump at some point in time, I get it. You're more than happy with what the guys in the bullpen can do right now. But is there a desire to have more than just one left-handed pitcher to lean on once it comes matchup season, which is the postseason?
Yeah. So, I mean, I think we can say about the Braves and probably most teams, like, they're probably going to look to get like a couple bullpen guys, at least one. The Braves do that every year at the trade deadline. Other than that, they don't really have a backup infielder. Charlie Culberson has been on the team for like 3 months, hasn't played one game. Acuna's played every game. Olson's played every game. Ozzy's played every game, and Riley's played every game. Maybe not Ozzy, but all these guys have played every game because they don't really have a backup infielder. But
Man, yeah, there's just so. Oh God, I can't.
Well, maybe the A's and the Braves, we could make a deal, man. We could work
mouth,
together
Joseph.
on this.
Shut your fucking mouth. I want this conversation to be over with fucking right now.
Who would you trade?
Nobody.
For the
There's
Braves,
nobody.
Dallas?
Nobody. Nope.
Why not?
Mm-mm.
Why?
You think I want to see Jace Peterson leave? No, I don't. You think I want to see Sam Mole, Richard Lovelady, Sam Long, Ken Waldich? You think I want to see any of those guys leave? I don't.
I guess not.
Well, now tell the players you do want to see leave. We're talking trades here. Let's talk trades.
Also,
make a deal that makes us both better.
Yeah, why would you want them to suffer in Oakland? Why couldn't you just be?
Who says they're suffering?
Their faces.
They're in the big leagues. They're in the big leagues.
They're really not, though. Like, if you play for the A's, that's not really in the big leagues.
You're definitely a part of the Major League Baseball union.
Yeah. Yeah. You definitely have a player card. That's for sure. Yeah. Well, that's cool. I'm happy. I'm happy that the players in Oakland are happy, because if they weren't, that'd be tumultuous.
I'm no one to speak for the players.
Mm-hmm.
Get your fucking hands off, Joseph.
Just let it happen. It's almost like when the Bruins traded Ray Bourque to the Avalanche and he won the Stanley Cup. But this is some big news. Next year, you don't even know what this is, do you, Dallas? You disrespectful fuck. Do you know what this is?
No. Is this something they play in between games at Candlepin Bowling? I have no idea.
This is the Dominican national anthem, Dallas. You ignorant fuck. Have some respect, dude. Next spring training, we're going. We have to go. We don't have a fucking choice. The Red Sox and the Rays
Poppy, right?
going head to head in Saugus Domingo, Dominican Republic. This is our opportunity. There's gonna be plenty of media outlets there. Will you be one, Dallas? Will you be one?
I'll go. I'm in.
Okay.
I'm in.
We're getting tattoos.
I'm in. All right. Of the country of the Dominicans.
Yeah, Dominican flag tattoos. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get the Dominican tattooed, and then I'll get a star where Stockton Domingo is, and you can get a star where Saugus Domingo is.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Sister cities. You guys, I don't know if you guys knew that, but
Right.
Stockton Domingo and Saugus Domingo are definitely sister cities. Stockton Domingo on the windward side of the island, so it doesn't get as much love, but it's fine.
Yeah. It's a little bit more rough around the edges.
Yeah, that's all right though. It's fine. We're good people. We're good people.
Yeah. Very welcoming. Very welcoming. Joseph, are you down for this trip?
See. Should I try another accent?
Yeah,
Let's go to the Santo Domingo.
Yeah.
That's so much better.
Santo Domingo.
Yeah. It's going to be great. I don't think they announced dates. They just said spring 2024.
So it's a spring training game?
I believe it's exhibition.
Oh, is it going to be like
not like Japan.
Yeah. Like Japan
no, because those games counted. Those were regular season games.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Oh, so they're like straight up. They don't even count.
I don't believe. MLB
I'll
announced
tell you right
the Red
now,
Sox will play the Rays in the Dominican Republic in 2024. Spring training games on March 9th through the 10th at Estadio Quisqueya in Santo Domingo.
Yeah, your home stadium.
Yeah. So this is these are spring training games. They don't count. I mean, they count to me. I agree. They should count.
Yeah, something you got to keep your eyes peeled for are what the traveling rosters look like, what the traveling parties look like.
Yeah,
you gotta assume MLB is gonna make them bring the stars.
Yeah, they have to. I mean, you think Rafael Devers and Wander Franco are not going to play in the Dominican series?
They're all going to want to go back. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, but I mean, I want to go back. I can't wait. There's family I haven't seen in a long time.
It's been a while.
I went to the 2020 Dominican series, and
who could forget?
They were asking about you.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, can't travel during the pandemic.
I had a number of people in the hotel be like, "Where's the rocket?" And I said, "I wish he could be here."
Don't talk about shit though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna have
I'm
a
sure
great
they'll be
tour
happy to have
guide.
you back. Yep.
Gonna have a great tour guide in David Ortiz to take us around the island. We got to get planning for that right now. Dallas and I have already thrown around the idea. I'm sure you can potentially guess where it is for the playoffs. We have an idea of where we want to do a live event with the whole crew. But I mean, in terms of planning ahead, I feel like we should start planning for the Dominican series right now. Jake, do you think you think you would probably be like a local celebrity in the Dominican Republic as well?
Yeah, I can get tatted for Swampscott Domingo too.
Yeah, Swampscott Domingo. Yeah. Yep.
Oh, it's gonna be lit.
I can't wait. It's gonna be one of those memories that I keep for the rest of my life. Kind of like how I keep Blue Moon in my fridge for the rest of my life.
Please do.
Yeah. Well, no thanks to Dallas. I mean, well,
I came over to your house because fucking Ellen was out. So and that's so somebody's gonna have to keep the fucking fridge stocked.
You know what I mean? Did you get the joke? Did you get the joke about how I was gonna go to your mom's house and then I went to your house instead?
I was at your mom's house and then I went to your mom's house after.
And she didn't have any Blue Moon, so I came to your house.
She did. We shared some, and that was over. And she even brought Valencia orange peels.
Did she?
Yeah,
no,
absolutely.
She did. No, she did.
Yeah.
No. But beer is a tried and true baseball tradition.
Did she?
But Blue Moon is the only beer brewed by baseball. Blue Moon was born in a ballpark, first brewed at Coors Field in Denver, Colorado. Make it your one-of-a-kind baseball tradition, whether you're at the park or watching from home. Had some Blue Moons out in Seattle this weekend. Poured one out for Jake. We were drinking Blue Moons at the Home Run Derby. It was just a Blue Moon weekend. Every weekend should be a Blue Moon weekend, in my personal opinion. But with its refreshing flavor with Valencia orange peel for a subtle sweetness and hints of coriander, Blue Moon Belgian-style wheat ale is a one-of-a-kind beer that's made brighter. It's carefully crafted and full-flavored with refreshing notes and a smooth, creamy finish. Blue Moon was brewed by baseball to give you a dose of nostalgia and get you excited for the new season. Why strike out with the same old beer when you can get something that's one of a kind? Its bold flavor, bright explosion of color, and iconic orange slice ritual guarantees a one-of-a-kind beer experience perfect for spring weather. Best served with its signature orange garnish to showcase its beautiful bright color. A beer this good only comes around once in a blue moon, but you can enjoy it all season long. Keep baseball traditions alive with Blue Moon Belgian-style wheat ale. It's one of a kind every time. Check out shop.bluemoonbrewingcompany.com for baseball merch and visit get.bluemoonbeer.com/rocket to find Blue Moon delivery options. That is get.bluemoonbeer.com/rocket. Blue Moon made brighter. Celebrate responsibly. Blue Moon Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado Ale. At the red carpet event, I got to catch up with Matty Olson.
Matty-O.
Talked to Matty-O. Asked him about being a part of that Braves lineup. How to stay focused every day. It's like, doesn't it get boring when you just win every single game? And you guys just hit home runs all the time. Got to talk to Nathan Eovaldi, Texas Rangers legend Nathan Eovaldi. I was sure to remind him how much Dallas fucking hates his ass. Cannot stand that fucking guy, but he's one of the nicest guys in baseball, which is crazy.
Great guy.
He's literally one of the nicest. Who else do I talk to on the red carpet? I talked to Bo Bichette. Spencer Strider. I got him to come up, and I asked him for his leg workout, to which he obliged. He's gonna help. He's gonna help the cause.
I like to hear that.
Yes. Yeah, he's gonna help the cause. I informed him that he was my Cy Young pick, which was also Dallas's. Yes. Cy Young pick?
No. Yeah, yes.
We're trying to massage that relationship so that we can get Spencer Strider on the podcast. I feel like that would be a fascinating sit down with a very interesting character. Had no idea that he was as young as he is. He looks very mature.
He's
for
got
his
some
age.
He's got some extreme weirdo tendencies.
Yeah. He was. I don't want to say he was an odd cat, but he's different.
You could say he's a fucking weirdo. There's nothing wrong with being a weirdo. Nothing wrong at all with being a weirdo.
No.
Like I fucking love me some weirdos. Those are the people that you can just say 2-3 words to, and they just take you down a fucking lane. You're like, I did not see us going here, but here we are.
Yeah. He's definitely a little bit different, which is nice. It was refreshing. So you don't, you usually get like the robotic, canned answers, and Spencer Strider's just like, no, I'm on my own wavelength right now.
Hell yeah, brother. Hey, you don't throw 112 and have legs that look like that by being like everybody else.
That's true.
Fact.
That's a good point. He definitely is someone that is quote unquote built different. Adley Rushman, had never met him before. There were a few guys that we got on the red carpet that I had never talked to before. Adley is huge. He's great. He's a great guy. Super nice.
He's just big.
Surprisingly, that was the first time I ever talked to Kenley Jansen. Like we had never, I don't think we even made eye contact in Boston. He's just up the dugout steps and goes and does his thing, comes back, and he's walking around like people look at him like he's Bigfoot. He's as big as Bigfoot, but he's also just kind of like that legendary figure where it's like, all right, that guy, like you leave him alone, like you let him do his thing. But he was cool enough to come up on the red carpet as well. What were our impressions of this year's All-Star Game? The National League finally wins one. Did it do anything for you? The National League finally winning an All-Star Game? Did it do anything for anybody here? No.
As a National League guy myself, it was good to see us back on top. The superior league.
Well, it's been a fucking decade, and that's just not true.
Just bring up bullshit, but whatever.
Yeah.
What was it, since 2012, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just a fucking decade plus of getting your ass whipped by the other guys.
Yeah.
Why are they so much better than
That is weird though. Isn't that weird? Like how AL dominates the All-Star Game?
It would have made more sense, or it did make sense with the DH. It's like, all right, yeah, like we're used to having that guy, but no, it doesn't make perfect sense.
So no, there's no, for me it makes no sense, because even in that scenario, it's like, well, okay, what about us having the DH gave us an advantage, because the guy that you're going to plug in at DH, he got to hit and play a position all fucking year too. Yeah. So it's not like we just introduced this new slot in the lineup that the National League's like looking at like, what does this do? What the fuck do we do with it? It's a fucking designate. Oh, we get to hit? Just hit? So I'm curious as to why the domination has been such.
I think most of it, like obviously any side winning 12 straight is mostly going to be luck or whatever, or a random streak. But I think there was a decent chunk of that where the AL was actually just the better league, which I don't think exists really anymore. But there, like, we forget now, but there was a stretch where the AL had the Yankees and Red Sox operating kind of on a different scale, and like to compete in the AL, in a sense, you almost had to compete with those two teams, and the NL didn't have that when the Dodgers weren't behaving like the Dodgers. I don't think that really applies anymore. But I do think there was a time and a place where, during part of the streak, where the AL was just a superior league talent-wise, and we're probably just past that.
Yep, I would agree.
We're definitely past that.
Yeah, and especially when you're talking about a lot of stars played in the All-Star Game, but we're also talking about, by the time people pull out and are replaced, and what representation of each league are you really getting at that point? I'm not totally sure. Probably best not to read into specific All-Star results, but in terms of your question about what the game did, I hate to be a hater, but holy shit, what a snooze fest.
Ooh.
I think the Derby was exactly as fulfilling as I anticipated. It was very entertaining, good stuff all around. I think in some senses it remains a challenge to broadcast on TV. a lot of times in the new format, because while it's overall better, it's tough with the speed that everything is happening. It's tough to get the majestic travel of the ball on TV sometimes. And I don't know exactly how you fix that, but the All-Star Game was, I mean, it was 3-2, man. And Yandy Diaz hit the only home run, and I guess it was dramatic in the sense that it changed the fortune of the. I don't know. It didn't hold up, and I don't know, man. Yeah,
I think
guess
the other thing too with the home run derby is the grass is always greener, because everyone loved the new format when it first came out, and now we're getting the new format every year, and everyone's like, well, what if we just go back to the old one now?
And I want to be clear, I still think that this current format is better. I'm just saying from particularly live, but I think from a TV broadcast standpoint, which is a huge chunk of it, it is a little bit challenging, because you get like split screen action a lot, and it's just it's very fast. But I don't know. Do you disagree with me on the All-Star Game?
Have any of you guys watched long drive competitions on TV for like fucking 5 minutes?
No. I don't know
At
what
all?
the fuck that is.
Like golf, you're talking?
Trying to hit a golf ball as far as you can in this lane here and do it as many times as you can, right? So for the home run derby, it's sort of like watching a long drive competition.
I was about to say, that sounds boring as fuck, but you're really just describing the home run derby.
So now what we saw this year was a complete disregard, or correct me if I'm wrong, for the rule of the ball needing to have landed before you can put the next ball in play.
Yeah.
Right?
Either that rule is completely eliminated, or just nobody cares. I'm not even sure which.
Right. Just nobody cares. Nobody cares. So to your point about watching, so what you end up watching is 3-4 swings in a row, and you might see where one of those balls ends up landing. So for every 4 swings you're seeing, you're watching maybe 1 or 2 balls land, and that becomes tough to bounce back and forth with, as far as TV production goes. But I think it's still unequivocally the best feature of an all-star experience of the 4 major sports that we have.
No question. This is all nitpicking to some degree.
But as far as the game goes, and this is what I asked, I think I asked this on Threads.
Good plug.
What would you what would be different? What would you change about the All-Star Game, or what changes? What is different about the baseball All-Star Game aside from NFL, NBA, hockey? And I said one.
Sorry.
Well, Jay, guys are looking to make great defensive plays, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Torrey Hunter robbing Barry Bonds.
Yeah, this is
what would be the NBA equivalent. Watching you dribble up to the 3-point line, and instead of sticking my hand up, me just standing there.
Whatever problems the Major League Baseball All-Star Game has, the NBA All-Star Game has those problems tenfold. Like, I don't like
Yes.
This is. They have huge competition issues with that, and they are probably going to completely reformat what they're doing. They've already scrapped the draft idea. I think they're going back away from that now. It's that's. I don't know that there is anything to be done. Or some years it's going to be more entertaining than others. I just didn't think seeing like a pitching duel isn't particularly interesting to me if it's a new pitcher every single inning. Like, part of the appeal of a pitcher's duel to me is seeing the same guy work through the challenges of an entire game, right? Or 8 innings of that game or something like that. This, like, I just don't care enough about seeing Sonny Gray in the All-Star Game, or like Carlos Estevez. It's just like, don't care. Like, this, and then you only get you got the 2 homers by I think 2 people we would both agree are like non-star level players. And you got 1 stolen base. So a lot of what we've been praising about the 2023 season just didn't play out. And it's not like you got lots of triples and doubles. I think you got 3 or 4 total doubles. So it's not like you got lots of other extra base hits or lots. You just didn't get an exciting brand of baseball, I don't think, in a lot of ways. And sometimes that happens and sometimes it doesn't. And this year's All-Star Game just wasn't very good, I don't think.
Until last inning.
Base,
Last inning was lit.
Yeah, it was
Last
fine.
inning
but
was-
baseball, baseball offers you that though all year long, like that kind of competition, right? And I think fans get excited about a difference in competition, which is why the Pro Bowl struggles, which is why the NBA All-Star Game struggles, is because there is zero competition there. It's quite literally a walkthrough of how the game looks like it is going to be played. But nobody's playing defense. Nobody wants extreme contact. Just everything you're shying away from in the real game is what the All-Star Game does. And that's why I said baseball, you still got guys laying out to make great defensive plays. You still got guys trying to hit a homer. You still got guys trying to throw 100 miles an hour.
For sure.
So as far as competing goes, as far as playing the actual game goes, there is nothing taken away from the game of baseball like you see in the NBA and the NFL.
100%.
Yeah.
It's just close. It was just a normal 3-2 game is kind of my point.
Yep.
Like
That's it.
You're 100% correct that it is it's like 99% of baseball as opposed to those other sports that are like 75% of basketball or 50% of football, right? Like I totally understand. Can I do a little side rant
Please.
though on the All-Star Game and like Jared, you said you roasted some fits or whatever. It is hard for me to believe that they sell enough All-Star Game jerseys every year to offset the damage that they are doing in not getting the 30-team logos out in front and paraded around, and furthermore, keeping those players in those uniforms so that those specific players are more marketable and recognizable after the All-Star Game. That intro stuff, like I'm glad they're doing red carpet stuff, and I'm glad every player is getting introed and they're getting the spotlight like that. Half of the players may as well have been close to anonymous. Like it sucks that they're in these drab, normally like very uninspiring uniforms. And I would I get what they were doing with the color scheme. I would throw this year's in that pile right now of very uninspiring. I just feel like in the long-term interest of the game is to have the 30 uniforms out there being paraded around above and beyond the fact that it's aesthetically much more pleasing to the eye, I think, to have them in their normal uniforms. Throw a nice patch on there. Do something funny with the hat or like classy with the hat. I don't care, but like these All-Star specific uniforms just have always done nothing for me, and it bothers me to see them.
But okay, now before we get into this, do you understand why it is the way it is though?
Yes, I started off saying that. They want to sell merch and they want to keep they want to keep the churn going. Like I get it, but
But to Jay's point, like how many fans have you seen wearing an All-Star Game jersey?
Buddy, you're not getting an argument. You're not getting an argument from me here.
Well, so then the justification for it doesn't make sense. I don't think I'm straight up telling you
it does because it makes them dollars.
No, but
that's the thing.
Don't you think that if they
how many fucking jerseys have you seen in the wild, like an All-Star Game jersey where it's not your? Because if I'm a Red Sox fan and I want to buy a Kenley Jansen All-Star Game jersey, don't I want Red Sox on it?
Yes.
Like who the fuck is like American?
You want the All-Star patch. You want the patch and the All-Star Game jersey.
That means if I'm the league, now that means I have to share with you, the owner.
No, I'm sure they're getting a cut of that regardless. There's no way that.
Yes. No. So if I don't have to put your team name and I don't have to put your team logo on this jersey, and I can just put my league logo and my league name on it, and I don't have to cut you in on that, then that's what I will do. And as much money as I make is still more than the money I would make if I had to share with you. That's what I'm saying.
I don't know.
So if the number is not great enough for you guys, I get it. And I'm not arguing with you. I'm not arguing with either one of you that it's a shitty deal. I'm not arguing that at all. I'm on your side. I'm just telling you, and you guys are intelligent enough to acknowledge this, that if it makes $10 and I get to keep all of that as the league, then that's better than it only making me $8 and me having to share that $8 with you guys. Fuck that. I'll take my 10.
That's fine.
That's what they're saying.
I don't know if that's even how it's set up. you might be right. I don't know if that's how it's set up or if they have to get a cut of all merchandise that's part of Major League Baseball.
I'm with you.
But
I'm with you. I don't know
but that
either.
aside, like I think it's another example of being short-sighted for $10 now instead of like $13 down the line or whatever made up number we want to use, because I firmly believe that if you are invested in these 30 teams and identities, that like marketing those 30 teams would be more beneficial in the long run, and having players associated, like, you know, like it would be good for a new fan to come out of this and associate Julio Rodriguez with the Mariners, or Ronald Acuna Jr. with the Braves, who maybe didn't know anything about the Braves or Ronald Acuna Jr. prior to tuning into the All-Star game. And now it's like, hey, what team is that guy on? Like, where do I, like, I don't know, man.
So now think about this, Jay. Hey, think about all of the Braves players or all of the Rangers players. And I said this about the Oakland A's in the 70s. You got 5-6 guys making this team, and you've got some of the sweetest uniforms in baseball. Let each one of these guys pick the uniform that they want to wear and put on display, because they have earned it. Have they not? This is how I would like to represent my organization, right? The fucking yellow and green V-neck. Maybe I want to go the white cutoff. Like maybe I want to go wedding gown whites. Like, who knows? I got a ton of different options. So let me pick. And now the fans can latch on to their favorite player who, in 73, Claudel Washington wore this one. And then in 74, Raleigh wore this one. And now you've got all of that instead of just a closet full of fucking solid looking drab colors, like you said, Jay.
It's lame.
Thanks for
like some of those pictures.
I own an All-Star jersey, but it's a
loser
Red Sox jersey that has the 99 All-Star Game patch on the sleeve. Like I don't buy jerseys anymore, but if I were to get a jersey, I can't imagine I would want to buy an American League All-Star jersey. I would want to buy a Red Sox jersey with the All-Star patch on the sleeve.
So we're in the day and age where we're talking about teams putting patches on their jersey for sponsorship, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it almost feels like the league said, in years past, we kind of felt like we were a sponsor of this.
Oh.
We're done being the sponsor of this.
We are this.
We're going to be the fucking main ticket.
Yeah.
We're going to be the headliner. So now, if you, the team, want to put your sponsored logo on it, let's talk.
I just think it's stupid. Because, I mean,
I'm with you.
Dallas, you're at a lot of ballparks. I am at a lot of ballparks. When I tell you I have seen 0 All-Star Game jerseys with the league across the chest, I'm telling you, I have seen 0.
Really?
0.
I've seen more of them inside of a Goodwill than I have at a ballpark. No lie.
But just to take stock here one last time before we switch subjects, show of hands here. Who is the asshole that does own an All-Star jersey? Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I not have?
No. Just moving on. I just wanted to do that little bit of housekeeping before we move on.
Because did you host the most iconic All-Star game of your generation? No. Oh, you didn't?
No,
you didn't?
What?
Oh, you
no,
didn't?
I was just saying that whoever had this All-Star beef,
I was just asking because
and then purchased the All-Star jersey.
I was just asking because when your favorite pitcher of all time happens to be the best pitcher of the generation who has the most iconic MVP performance in an All-Star game ever, that also happens to be at your home ballpark. I feel like you want a little memento from that. I don't know. Just a little memento, you know?
Give me all the reasons. Yeah, they got fucking, you ever heard of fucking TiVo, pal? Record it. Move on.
Or you could buy a jersey and remember that moment forever.
And you did that.
Yeah.
And so many other people do that too.
Twice.
And you guys are all on the same list?
I still see people wearing Pedro, Nomar, 99 All-Star Game jerseys. Like when you say what's the most iconic All-Star game, people are going to look back and be like, oh, 99 at Fenway. Like that is like the quintessential All-Star game. And when they had the All-Century team come out on the field, you will never, and I mean never, have a larger or better collection of MLB stars ever. That was it. The 99 All-Star game. But no. Definitely not a night that you ever want to commemorate. Just forget that.
They do this thing in New York every now and then.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
and bring people into this museum.
Yeah,
and shit,
most of them
whatever.
are dead, so it's not going to be the same as it was in '99.
Rest in peace.
They're still collected.
Rest in peace. Rest in peace. Just a quick note before we move on. Joseph, Atlanta is in the mix for the 2025 All-Star Game, with Baltimore and Toronto expected to also be on the short list. This from my roommate, Bob Nightingale.
Roommate.
Ooh.
I
Yeah.
vote Baltimore.
Ooh. Yeah, honestly, probably me too. I live closer to Baltimore. Like,
Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you right now,
Mhm.
Toronto would be fucking electric.
Yeah, I would love that. I would love either one of those.
Toronto.
I love Baltimore, but like obviously I feel like we'd have quite the hookup in Atlanta, but I've never been to Toronto and I really want to go there. So any one of those I'm happy with. I also heard, again, the Red Sox. I heard the Red Sox were in the mix for 2025. So I guess we'll see. Who wrote? So Bob Nightingale had that tweet. Let me pull up the one that referenced the Red Sox. Today, is Rob Manfred. Today, MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred confirmed that Wrigley Field is in the mix for 2025, but it's just one of at least 5 teams being considered, with Atlanta, Baltimore, Boston, and Toronto being the other 4. Okay.
That's a strong list.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I just want an All-Star game in Boston before I turn 40. You've got 6 years. You've got 6 tries. I mean, well, actually, no, 5, because next year is Texas, correct?
Yes.
And I was told yesterday that they're doing all the fucking All-Star festivities outside. Like, what are we doing? Dallas in the middle of fucking July? No. We need
that's
tents.
bad.
People are going to die. People will die. Look at how burnt I am. I was in Seattle. It's cloudy and fucking rainy every day. I got torched. Cleveland. I remember I had just gotten my fucking tattoos, and me and Dallas go to Cleveland for the All-Star game, and I torched my whole body. I don't know why. Like, sunscreen just, I don't know. It eludes me. For whatever reason, sunscreen just, I don't know. We and sunscreen don't get along. And I had to like redo a bunch of my tattoos because I burned them off my skin. Texas in July? We're on to 2025. 2024 is going to suck.
Yeah, that might be a health hazard.
That'd be tough.
I'm going to be miserable at the All-Star game next year. Miserable. I go outside twice a year. The All-Star game, and then there's like a random, like it was the Field of Dreams game that we did in 2021. And then I will get sunburns that last until Christmas every year. Have the same tan line. So like my necklace, it'll just be burned into my neck until I open up presents on Christmas morning. And you know that I love presents.
I got a fucking leg sunburn.
Oh my
That
God,
is,
what the hell? Dude, what?
Yeah. Yep.
How did you do that?
Aggressive. Well, you may or may not pass out in a kayak, and things may or may not go your way.
Did you
By
ever
go
heard of
your way, I mean
sunscreen?
you don't fall out and wake up and
Fucking
then
lucky your
legs are
face
fried.
didn't melt off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, everything else was covered, which is nice. I had a fucking nice hat on, shirt on, shorts, and it just from slightly above the kneecap down I look like a fucking fire hydrant.
Rub some aloe on it, baby.
Yeah.
I did. Trust me.
So for the 2025 All-Star game, your pick is Baltimore, Joseph?
Hey, I mean, I'm not either way. Hey, Atlanta, Baltimore,
Atlanta, Boston,
I'll
Toronto,
say
Wrigley.
this. Like when the Braves were supposed to be the All-Star host and they canceled it, I really didn't give a single fuck. You know, as a Braves fan, I don't live there. I wasn't going either way. Like, it didn't really mean that much to me to watch on TV in Atlanta. Like, it really didn't matter to me. I was like, do it wherever.
Okay. Shohei, of the 5, do you have a preference?
I got all of those have appeal to me in some way. I mean, Chicago, I could go and see family for sure. Boston, same deal. I think from a visual standpoint, I'd like to see it at Camden. I think I'm going to stick with Baltimore.
Okay. When is the last time they did one at Wrigley? Has there been one in our lifetime? Had to have been, right?
Yes. I want to say, was it just before the strike? 93?
1990.
1990. Yeah.
So
That was one. I remember that. 1990.
That would be good,
so they're
too.
even more due than us. I was sitting around being like, what the fuck? Like, it's like some ballparks have gotten 2 All-Star games since we've gotten 1. I think Coors Field has gotten 2 since we've gotten 1, something like that. But yeah, I mean, it's time. But now I feel like if you're a Cubs fan, you can bitch more than I can bitch. Dallas, do you have a preference between those 5 teams?
my heart may ride with Baltimore for romantic reasons.
Like what?
But
like what?
But I would love.
what?
It's where I made my big league debut, and I love that ballpark.
So it's about you.
I love that ballpark.
So it's about you.
And it's obvious, and it's the birthplace of Babe Ruth.
You want to I'm sure that there
I
are
said
serial
Toronto.
killers that were born in Boston too.
I
You
said
wanna
Toronto.
celebrate? Toronto.
I said Toronto.
Okay.
Serial killers? Geez, that's quite a step from a guy fucking,
They killed his wife.
having a tragic ending to his wife's life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure it didn't stop there, but
Well, I mean, it
Once-
did
once-
because she didn't wake up.
once you get
Um,
a taste, I feel like he just keeps going. But
He continued to light cigars, and that was it.
mhm.
Toronto. I like Toronto. Toronto's the place.
What about one last ride at the Coliseum? You know,
yeah.
Well, that was not an option,
Yeah.
but I don't think we would need to even ask me that question.
Mhm.
The answer would,
would
be
be
no.
next level.
Yeah. Hey Jake, where do you think the All-Star game should be in 2025?
I'm down for Fenway.
Yeah, that'd be sick. That'd be sick. How old were you in 1999?
2.
2. Okay.
Yeah, Jared, you should tune in. That's something that Jake and I are going to go over on the Name Redacted.
Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah. You guys are gonna talk about the All-Star game in 2025.
well, it's still up in the air. We don't like to let our rundown out.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
Probably something we'll kick around though.
I really want an All-Star game. I think that would be great because then I wouldn't have to fucking travel. It would just be nice to have the All-Star game in your backyard. Literally, if I lived across the street from Fenway the year that they had the All-Star game there, I might get an
Completely
apartment
shocked.
What?
Completely shocked how this made its way back to your convenience.
there. Well, I mean, I just want to be. I want to be at an age where I can appreciate it. I was 10 in 99.
I just want to be met like 80% my way. Like if we can do that, I will enjoy this All-Star.
Can you imagine like a little DraftKings sponsored like blower at your bungalow right there across
Could
from
you-
Fenway? Just like
there would
doing
probably be a
content
DraftKings
and
party.
other things, and yeah,
all the parties that happened during the All-Star game. First of all, the last few, LA, Denver, and this one in Seattle, like all the time zones are fucked up. So like I'm out there and everyone's like, hey man, like let's go to this fucking party. And I'm like, bro, in my brain, it's 4 a.m. Like
Totally.
chill out. I was like, I am fucking exhausted. Like we're on the West Coast. I'm an East Coast guy. And everyone's like, yeah, let's fucking go, man. Like I didn't go to any parties this year or last year. Like Jake and Joey went to the Big Poppy party. And I was like, all right, you guys are in your early 20s. Like you can go do that. Like I'm tired. Like I'm going to bed.
salt of the earth. Yeah, back in my day, boys, I tell you, I was.
Now
I
you
was one that
sound
just
like Jake the
slammed
Snake
the
Roberts.
balloons.
He's just going through a
Slammed
range
the
of
balloons.
different wrestling legends. Jake the
I'm
Snake.
34 years old. I got a sciatic nerve hacking up. I've got a
My back was
bad
killing me on the
C3.
plane.
It's just fucking
Ugh.
terrible.
Where did my teeth go? Why do I sound like I'm talking with my gums?
Cause you're fucking old.
Oh,
Jared.
okay,
That's
got it. Yeah,
Son of a bitch.
yeah. I would go to some parties if they had it in Boston, but they would probably have a big DraftKings party. That'd be cool. Get Shohei in the mix. How long has it been since you got after it, Shohei? Because after childbirth, I feel like you haven't gotten after it.
Oh, I mean, I was just at a wedding. Like, are we just? Oh yeah, I got after it. Yeah, yeah. It hasn't been that long. I try and mix those in every couple of months at worst.
Yeah.
No, I'll tell you
There's-
what.
there's-
I solemnly swear, if the All-Star game is at Fenway, I will get after it with you.
Yeah. I'm very excited for that. It's never too soon to look for tickets to the 2025 All-Star Game. That's why you got to head over to Game Time, because buying tickets to your favorite events shouldn't be stressful. Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and theater near you. With killer deals on last-minute tickets and their best price guarantee, you can stop stressing over the tickets and start getting hyped for all the fun that you'll have. If you don't want to wait until 2025 to use Game Time, then I guess you can use Game Time to buy some tickets to see your favorite team in the second half of the MLB season, which is set to start tomorrow. There's no games tonight, right? It's just Friday? There's no games on the slate today?
Nope.
Okay. So second half resumes tomorrow. Game Time is the place for last-minute ticket deals. Forget planning months in advance, this case years in advance, for the 2025 All-Star Game in Boston. Game Time has deals on tickets right up to the day of the event. Get exclusive flash deals on tickets for football, basketball, baseball, concerts, comedy, theater, and more. The Game Time guarantee means that you'll always get the best price. If you find tickets in the same section and row for less, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Get images of your seat before you buy so you know exactly what to expect when you arrive. Buy tickets in a matter of seconds, 2 taps, and you're set. Tickets are sent directly to your phone, so you never have to dig through your email. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the promo code Jared, Jared, for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, use the promo code Jared for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Yeah. What are we looking forward to in the second half? What storylines do you think are the most important? We touched on the biggest one. Will Shohei be traded? That seems to be the question that everyone wants answered, but I feel like we more or less know the answer. But what are some of the storylines in the second half that you're most interested to watch unfold?
David Ortiz and Juan Soto being charged with tampering, and
he is an employee of the Boston Red Sox.
Watching how all of that unfolds.
Yeah. What is it? Because Juan Soto bought a house next to Poppy in the Dominican Republic, correct?
I thought it was Poppy bought a house next to Juan Soto. Either way, I don't care who bought what first.
They're just friends.
They're just friends. Jared, they're just neighbors.
Yeah, they're neighbors.
Really, that's all they are, is neighbors.
Right.
Like acquaintances.
Yeah.
At best at this point, right?
Just neighbors.
Yeah.
Friendly.
Yeah, just neighbors.
Yep.
Just a couple dudes living in houses next to each other. That's all that is.
A couple dudes living in houses. Nothing to see here. That'll be quite the interesting storyline to watch unfold. Juan Soto has 1 year remaining after this, I believe. Yes.
Yeah, I love the fact that Jeter's in on it.
Well, Jeter, what did Jeter just say? He said the Yankees should trade for Juan Soto, or is that what he said?
Yeah, like
yeah.
You know,
Derek Jeter wants the Yankees to pursue Juan Soto. Derek Jeter.
I mean, you could understand why, right?
It's no secret that the Yankees offense has floundered while reigning AL MVP Aaron Judge has been sidelined with a right big toe injury. Since Judge's absence on June 4th, the Yankees ranked 28th in the majors in runs and 27th in OPS. The Yankees will undoubtedly be looking for ways to upgrade their lineup prior to the August 1st trade deadline. One way to do that, acquire Padres outfielder Juan Soto. Yankees Hall of Famer Derek Jeter says he would love to see it happen.
He said, if the Padres don't have a good next couple weeks, I wouldn't mind seeing the Yankees go out and get Juan Soto.
All right.
Yeah.
He also said, you don't know how long Judge is going to be out. They need some offense.
Sounds like he knows something.
I think it makes sense.
So
Sounds like he knows something.
Here's my question. How can you get both Juan Soto and Shohei Ohtani if you're the Yankees? Because Miguel Andujar is just one person.
Right, that's true. And Clint Frazier as well.
Right, Clint Frazier plus Andujar. Like, is that enough? How do you divide those assets to get both Soto and Ohtani? I think you can do it, just because like Andujar is like so good and such a good asset. But
right,
I don't know. That's why Cashman gets paid the big bucks. You got to figure out how to make that work.
It's true. I mean, put it this way: they might not even need those guys because once Sean Casey gets cooking, that offense is going to go from dead last in the big leagues right up to 26th. I bet.
Like, do the Yankees have is it Jason Dominguez for Juan Soto straight up?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Well, yeah. Who's the other asshole that they have that they keep hyping up that's not going to be shit? Florial.
Jesus.
What?
Well, just if I were the player who just heard you describe me that way, I am unequivocally fucking your shit up the minute I see you.
Well, I mean, they keep hyping him up, and I think they've called him up a couple times, and he just keeps
Who's
dropping
this other asshole that's not going to amount to fucking dick right now? Oh, hi, sir. That would be me. What the fuck?
It's not even his fault. It's really Yankee fans' fault. Like
you just made it his fault for being born. Like, no, it is your fault. You're not good. It's your fault.
Yeah, I'm just tired of hearing like the tweets that I got this morning. It sounds like you're nervous that we're about to get Shohei, and it's like no one's nervous about that. No one's nervous about that. Like they're the bagel boss guy. Like they're the what do you want to step outside? You want to step outside, and then you just smack them around. It's like the offseason where they were supposed to sign Manny Machado and Bryce Harper, and then Carlos Correa and Justin Verlander and Edwin Diaz. Like every time they're like, yeah, we're about to fucking pop off. We're gonna sign all these dudes. They never sign any of them. To their credit, they got Garrett Cole. Like clearly that's not been enough. That's all they've done. They just keep flapping their gums about all the free agents that they're gonna sign, and they just never sign any of them.
I never think about the bagel boss guy except when he's mentioned on this podcast. I feel like he gets like monthly love on.
Well, it's because he and Jared have seen eye to eye on multiple things.
Asshole. It's not true, by the way. It's not true, by the way. A lot of people. You know what, Dallas? Like all you do.
Don't tell me.
Is you make me a martyr because when I'm out in public. And I get all like the people listening to this podcast will come up to me and be like, I don't know what the fuck Dallas is talking about. Like, you're not short at all. I'm like, I know that. Dallas creates a false narrative that people just buy into. It's crazy. You'll be like, why does Dallas say that you're short? You're taller than me. I'm like, yeah, I am aware.
Yeah, and then you zoom out, and that conversation's happening in the line for the fucking teacups at Disneyland.
No, that's not true. I laugh at my own jokes. Oh, I'm so funny, but I'm Dallas. I'm gonna pull it up right now because I have a clip of one of these exchanges actually happened on camera.
Isn't it crazy how Jared's finding that? Isn't it crazy how like Ortiz, A-Rod, and Jeter, like literally three of the 5 or 6 biggest stars of their era, and probably the 2 biggest, are on the same stage? And don't you just get the feeling that like they could spend 20 years as a trio together and not have one more ounce of chemistry than they have right now?
It does feel very
Shohei. Saddle up.
Like
saddle up.
I just don't like I'm never going to see Derek Jeter and A-Rod like have a natural free flowing conversation that isn't like awkward or bad. I don't know. It's just funny because like they're megawatt stars and you can't have a panel bigger than those 3 guys from their era. And it's just like,
well, it's obviously it's Major League Baseball's effort to try to recreate what the NBA has.
No doubt.
With Kenny, Chuck, and Shaq, right?
Yeah. That's a way
huge problem.
That's all it is.
Terrible.
That's all
it's
it
not
is.
even close. They need like those guys aren't even those type of guys. Maybe Big Papi is like that, like actually like entertaining,
right.
But like A-Rod,
Jeter, like the shit that he's talking and the arrows that he's firing, and I'll say it, he's probably not going to be able to say on air.
Right.
Straight up.
Well, that's fine. But like
straight up.
Like Chuck,
because he can jockey, he can volley back and forth.
Oh yeah, he's certainly capable of doing that, but that's been the whole point with him his entire career, that people are like, oh, maybe it won't be this way now that he's retired. I mean, it mostly just still is that way. And like 2 of the 3, if Ernie Johnson is obviously like a host on a level that I just don't think, with all due respect, that Kevin Burkhardt is just not there yet. If he's going to get there eventually, I don't know. But like the 2 of the 3 guys, the ex-players, are pretty funny, right? Or are capable of being comedic relief in Shaq and Barkley. And like, even if we give Ortiz the benefit of the doubt on that, like those other 2 guys are like very, very, very far from funny. Less
Did
funny
A-Rod
than
even
Kenny's.
have a microphone? Like there were multiple times where, like Ortiz was holding the microphone and he was like popping off like all these comments, and then they would be like, Well, like Ortiz, you had 16 home runs here, and then Jeter was like, "Yeah, I can't imagine I had that many home runs here." Like, well, you had the highest batting average. You hit 328 in Seattle. A-Rod, surprisingly, like you didn't hit as many as Poppy, and then he's just like, he didn't have a microphone.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, like how much do you think A-Rod got paid to fucking sit there? It's crazy. Anyways.
Taller in person.
Thank you. Put some respect on my height.
Thank you. So taller in person.
Glad we played that. That was good.
Yeah, damn. That put it all to rest. I'm done. After that, I'll never say another word.
Thank you.
You got me.
Thank you. Your propaganda doesn't work anymore, Dallas. You confuse the masses is what you do.
Yeah, that's all right.
It's not all right.
I'm opening their eyes. I'm okay with being the human zeitgeist for them.
Well, if you're gonna open your eyes, you should use protection because summer's in full swing and you need a pair of great shades that you don't have to break the bank for. Knockaround Sunglasses is the go-to quality polarized shades that won't break the bank. Plus, they just released the first 9 teams of their official MLB collection, including the Red Sox, Yankees, Dodgers, Mariners, Cardinals, Cubs, Giants, Padres, and Astros, as well as the official U.S. women's soccer team sunglasses. So you can add a little something extra to your game day outfit in time for this summer's big matches. Don't be the person that's squinting into the sun or worried about getting sand on their overpriced sunglasses. Check out knockaround.com for great looking polarized shades starting at just $28. That's a great deal. Shout out to Knockaround. Joey, what's the one thing? Hold on. What's the one thing that you're looking forward to in the second half? What storyline are you looking forward to seeing play out? Beside, you can't pick Ronald Acuna Jr. Going 40-80. You can't pick that.
I mean, I'm curious to see what the Padres and the Mets are going to do, and see if they if they have a chance. Because I think they both have a chance right now, but that could change pretty quickly. And how far back can they get before it's like, all right, it's a complete disaster? Because that can happen quick, or they could get hot.
Which of the two teams do you give the greatest chance of turning their season around, the Mets or the Padres?
Padres.
Because of Blake Snell.
But Blake Snell. I mean, the Mets don't seem like as good on paper, and both of them are bad on the field. So I'm definitely going to go with the Padres on that one.
Okay.
Especially with the older pitchers for the Mets. Like, they've struggled at first. In my old guy brain, like how I look at old players, they probably get worse the more they pitch.
Half.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not picking up speed in the second half. Shohei, who do you have turning their season? Who has a greater chance of turning their season around in the second half, the Mets or the Padres?
I agree with Joey. I think it's the Padres. I mean, I think they've got like something like double or a little bit better playoff odds according to Fangraphs, which I'm not going to say is the end all be all, but I think that there is only one viable path for the Mets at the wild card, and that they're very, very far back of that. I think the talent on the Mets or the Padres is a little bit more stable, and I give them a better shot. I think it's them.
Padres, Dallas?
Probably the Padres. We're talking about a team who the Padres sit in fourth place right now at 8.5, 9 games out of their division, and the New York Mets are also a fourth place team and sit just under 20 games out of their division. However, the New York Mets are just 7 games out of their wild card spot, as the San Diego Padres are just 6 out of their wild card spot. But for everything that Joey said and everything that Shohei just wisely agreed to as well, I agree. It's the San Diego Padres who probably have a better shot of turning shit around for themselves than it is the Mets.
I mean, it makes sense. What was the other storyline that we talked about for the second half that would be most exciting to watch?
Well, for me, I don't know if it's necessarily exciting to watch, something to keep an eye on. For me, really is, what do the Cardinals have going on?
Yeah.
What is going to be the play?
Yeah.
And from there, then the details of the play, meaning oh, are you acquiring people? I don't know that that's going to happen, but you're moving people because Mozeliak's already, as I said earlier, been vocal about some of the moves he looks to or is maybe kicking around. Mozeliak?
Isn't that like a Pokemon? Isn't it Mozeliak?
Mozeliak?
Yeah.
I don't know how to fucking, whatever. Sure.
Mozeliak sounds like a reptile.
Mozeliak. Well, is he a supercharged Mozeliak?
Mozeliak sounds like something that comes with a whole host of side effects that they say very quickly at the end of the commercial.
Yeah. Mozeliak sounds like depression medication.
Are you 63 or over and have a tough time keeping an erection as well as blinking? Well, then try Mozeliak. Oh, fuck. I don't have a hard on, but I haven't blinked for 4 days. This is great.
Thanks, Mozeliak.
Yeah, so it's the Cardinals and whether or not they're going to blink first and just what that blinking looks like.
They need Mozeliak, dude.
They need it bad.
They need it. Adam Wainwright, buddy, you need to get on Mozeliak.
Adam Wainwright, this day after walk around the stadium, sponsored by Mozeliak. It's all good. It's all good.
I just hope they they keep Vincenzo Gourmand. That's a piece that you need in the second half.
Oh, Vincenz.
Vincenz.
The chins.
Yeah. Absolute stud. What's the other? Shohei, did you have a storyline?
Well, we mentioned like the Ohtani trade thing, but I'm kind of separately interested in whether he makes a run at 60 homers too.
Yeah.
That's not, or even 62 or 63. Like I think those, all of those numbers are probably a little bit of a stretch at his current pace. But if he hooks up with a contender and is playing, really consistently down the stretch, it's obviously nothing is out of reach for him. So I think it's at least something to watch. We'll probably learn whether it's going to happen in the couple weeks coming out of the All-Star break because you have to maintain a certain pace. But I'm interested.
All right, here we go. This is something I know we're all interested in. Might not be like at the front of our brains. I'm going to set the over/under at 378.
Oh, okay.
Shohei says lower.
I'll take the hard under.
Wow.
Yep.
What's
the hard under?
What's the 391?
No, he's at 380 something. If anybody wants action on that, we can talk offline because I'm very interested if that's the line.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ooh. Okay. Joe?
He comes
over under 378.
He's at 383.
And we're talking about a rise?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to go under. Just Shohei looked like confident. He had some insider information. So it's
Shohei answered quickly. Andy used a hand gesture, so I'm going with Shohei.
What's the line?
378.
378. And he's at 383.
Yeah.
Oh man, there's a lot of season left.
Well, let me ask you this. Are you going to be disappointed if he hits 365?
A little bit.
Yeah, kind of. That's like a hard fall off from fucking 408 or wherever he was a couple weeks ago.
Now, let me remind you, we're having this conversation at the All-Star break as well.
Yeah.
This isn't June.
Yeah.
He's kept it going to the point where we're now kicking around the idea, hey, fuck, he's 20 points away from 400. Well, he's also 20 points away from 360.
Yeah. I don't know. I wish it was in the 360s because then I would take the over. High 370s feels like you're
Okay,
almost in
here.
push
We'll
territory.
reset it.
Okay.
372.
So Nomar. Will he be better than Nomar?
372. Shohei's still emphatically pumping fingers down.
I'm
I can't give you any less than that.
I'm gonna
You're
take
taking the over.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
I think the final mark is gonna be 378.
So you should have just fucking pushed me.
Yeah. Well, that's why I said it
Fucking
sounds
guy.
like a push.
Asking for line adjustments and shit. Here we go.
Yeah, take the over on 372.
Jake, what say you?
I'll go over just to be fun.
Oh, I like it. I like it. I would love for him to see 380, 390. I would fucking love for that to happen because baseball fans, amidst the conversation we've had about the rule changes and the shifting lack of, however you want to look at it, I want this to be a thing because things like this need to happen for us to be able to continue to beat the drum of how valuable these changes to our game have been. We're going to see it with Seager, and those numbers are going to play out and look very differently hitting without a shift as opposed to with the shift. And we're going to have a conversation about a guy damn near hitting 400. And neither one of those conversations happen if it's not for the rule changes. And I think if these things happen, then it just continues to pile on the justification for entertaining the evolution of the game.
I mean, I know that people don't love batting average anymore, but like the idea of him being high 380s, high 390s, 400 does a lot for me. Does it do anything for you, Joe?
I wish I could take my pants off for you, boy.
Jesus Christ.
Joey.
I didn't.
Christ.
Yeah, man. I mean, we're talking batting average, but I respect the passion.
Yeah, I never said that.
Keep your pants on.
So,
Yeah.
I never said that. It does help me. Okay, so which one do you want me to answer?
Does hitting
works? I agree. Hitting is good. This is what you got to be. This is what you got to be worried of though, because if he hits 400, and I don't know what his other number is going to be, but it's like you're going to hear all the fucking people, and everyone's going to be super pissed. Like, yeah, but he has a less WAR than Dansby Swanson. Average is dumb. Like, if you hate that argument, that average is dumb, you don't want him to hit 400 because you're going to hear that nonstop by kids on Twitter. Maybe not on the big networks. They'll probably be promoting it, showing, 400, race to 400, buy 400 jersey. But
yep,
you're going to get the average. The average debates are going to drive people fucking crazy.
In 1941, when Ted Williams hit 406, his wins above replacement was 10.4.
Anybody want to hazard a guess as to what the huge difference between Ted Williams 1941 and Luis Arias' 2023 is?
Homers?
Yeah, maybe take a look at that slugging percentage, see what they might be doing there. Homers,
or WAR traces.
What he might be doing there.
Extra base hits, all that sort of stuff. I mean, Ted Williams probably had a goddamn 1,100 OPS that season.
He had a 1287 OPS.
There you go. I undershot it by almost 200 points. So
and there's a good chance Ted Williams faced 70 less pitchers.
Probably.
Sure.
He had a 735 slug. He walked 147 times. He led the league with 37 homers, scored 135 runs, and had 33 doubles.
Yeah, there are lots of reasons why Ted Williams was maybe able to do that. But one of them is that he was awesome on a way that, with all due respect, at least Luis Arias is just not capable of being. Like, that's why Ted Williams is one of the 10 greatest hitters of all time.
He only had 185 hits that year that he hit.
That's because he would. I actually respect the shit out of that too, because like Ted Williams' game was about drawing walks too, and
yeah, he walked 147 times that year.
I think what's that great stat where like across Joe DiMaggio's 56 game hitting streak, like Ted Williams had like a higher batting average or like a much higher OPS or something like over that same stretch of time.
Just better.
Yeah. No, I listen to go back to Arias specifically. Entering this season, even with the shift in play and the impact there, if we had told you that, or if we had been told that Luis Arias would hit 350, everyone would have been like, "Holy shit! What an awesome player!" You know what I mean? And if he hits 350 in the second half, he's falling short of those 378 marks that you guys just talked about. So, like, I agree that to Dallas's point, like, we need to be celebrating this sort of thing. But I also, it's going to be a shame if he ends the season at 358 or something like that, and people view it as a disappointment as opposed to like him hitting 358, which is really quite rare in and of itself.
I tweeted this stat on September 14th, 2014. Joe DiMaggio hit 408 with an 1181 OPS over his 56 game hitting streak. Over the same span, Ted Williams hit 412 with a 1224 OPS. Yeah.
There you go.
May 15th to July 16th, 1941. Yep. Well, I guess we'll see. Not so much in the MVP voting, how teams, or because it's voters, the writers, less in the MVP voting, more so in free agency. How teams feel about Luis Arias and his ability to get hits, but with limited damage. We'll see. That'll be pivotal. Any final thoughts here today, Joseph?
My man, I just want to say Randy Arozarena stole the show, but he didn't win it. And it was still a good pick by me. I wish he would have fucking put on those fucking boots in overtime. Like, bro, I was watching him with those boots.
No chance, Joe.
Rolling ankle.
Whole
Missed
crowd.
the whole second half because he was in boots.
Yeah,
Brother.
he would no chance.
But listen, you can tell me you can't put some spikes on those?
Oh, he
I
could
guess
have. That would just been a bad scene. Bad scene. That's IL waiting to happen.
If the Cowboys can do all this crazy stuff in cowboy boots, I think Randy Arozarena can hit a couple bombs and not roll an ankle.
I just don't think that's how that works out.
Well, I mean, if you could put spikes on Travis Scott's, then you could probably put spikes on cowboy boots. It just probably wouldn't be as comfortable.
Probably not.
Yeah, eventually.
It's a fair assessment.
Jay, any final thoughts?
Yeah, I just want to call back to the beginning of the episode. Thank you to Rob Manfred for saving Jake.
Yeah, that was huge.
It's huge for the pod, huge for Jake specifically.
Yep, huge for
I know
the audio.
that John Cena gets a lot of the credit for this type of stuff, but pretty sure Rob's number 2 when it comes to saving lives and stuff like that. It was brought up on Monday's podcast, and it was off the top, and the two of you and Dallas were going back and forth, and we moved on before I got a chance to say something, but I did not want to let the moment pass longer. I thanked you two privately about the experience that you showed my brother and my nephew specifically, but all four of us on Friday. But I just want to call out, Dallas touched on it, but I want to echo it. The Red Sox employees, like the stadium workers, I was blown away at how, and like some of it I'm sure was that I was with the mayor of Fenway, but not all of it, because she was hardly the only one. But when my dad and I left, and my brother and my nephew left as well, but they were ahead of us walking ahead, Ruth stopped to say hello and was chatting us up for several minutes, being very nice. And she had done the same to my brother and my nephew about a football field ahead of us. And it was, a very kind, genuine reaction. So, she was just one example, but really, the grounds crew too. It was just a really pleasant experience, and certainly made it more memorable. So thank you to everybody.
Yeah, Ruth is a shit. She I was at Fenway for my birthday this year, and she surprised me with a cake. Like, she is a genuine awesome person, like top notch.
Yeah, her shift was over, and she was like stopping to talk. Like I've never met a previous stadium worker who would have done anything other than blow right by me, and rightly so. Right. You know what I mean? And she stopped to chit chat. No, very nice.
Yeah. Shout out to Dave Meller, Jeff on the grounds crew. He's awesome too. Yeah, they do great shit for baseball fans all the time. Dallas, final thoughts.
Final thoughts. If you're A's fans listening to this episode, they're coming. They're coming. That's right. Zach Geloff, Tyler Soderstrom, on their way to the big leagues. It was announced a couple days ago. This is something that I had been waiting for. Had an idea that this was on the way, but with all of the shit that A's fans have had to deal with and have been just kind of wearing publicly, privately, I think any organization's fan base gets excited when they see the future on the way, regardless of any other opinions you might have about that. The moment in time where you know your prospects are coming up, that's exciting. That's what's happening for the A's right now. Two of their top prospects in Soderstrom and Geloff will be on their way and will be wearing a big league uniform tomorrow. So congratulations to both of those dudes, and just can't wait to see him strapping on at the big league level, man.
Wow. Big things coming in Oakland, A's fans. Big things coming. Future's bright. Turn that frown upside down. Jake's takes?
Just one more shout out to Dallas and the Oakland A's for getting swept last weekend. Really helped me get through my hospital visit.
Son of a bitch.
Dallas actually texted me on Sunday morning. He was like, "Hey man, I heard you're in the hospital not doing so well, so I'm going to make sure we lose this one just for you." And they did. So thank you.
Very little effort required on Dallas's end to facilitate that too. I would
It's maybe because I just make shit look easy, Jay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, glad to see you're fucking better, Jake.
I did think it was interesting at the All-Star game that the A's and the Red Sox had the same amount of participants.
We had 0. Our All-Star was a Dodger. So we really had no All-Stars.
That's tough.
Next year in Fenway, though.
2 years.
2 years in Fenway.
2 years. So, all right. Enjoy your weekend of baseball. We'll be back on Monday, resuming the second half. 3 episodes a week back on, obviously. So we'll see you then.
Wow.